right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Speed Gaming fans. It is time for yet another map randomizer race. This is a loser bracket round 4. Andy, the number 13 seed. Fat Scott, the number 9 seed. Winner moves on to face Aussie in round number 5 of the lower bracket. And the loser is eliminated. Once again, tissues will not be provided. I am kidding. I am joined by the fantastic Stev on tracking. So big shout outs to Stev. Andy on your left. Fat Scott, he is on your right. Let's see what Seed 1 holds in store in this seed. As I adjust my boom arm here, folks, don't worry about it. Oh, Criteria Crab Hole and a new sector. It's Torian to start. Speed Booster. Very interesting ways to start. Oh, and Scott accidentally falls down towards Golden Teresa and can't defeat Teresa yet. So just a speed booster for these races to get started. Scott goes back to the ship to take a quick save. Andy out to a slight lead, finds the Brinstar Firefleas. We're going to find out if this is a seed where we're going to have late morph, late suits, early morph, early suits. Missiles help. Scott comes across an energy tank as well. So again, folks, Andy on your left, Scott on your right, Stev on tracking, I'm WXFan21. All of us here having some fun with some map rando. Oh, there's the first super of the seed. Pretty interesting. So we get missiles, we get supers. I wonder if this is really a play for Criteria Crab Hole. Right now, it's just a matter of picking up what you can. Okay, there's Wreck Ship. Ooh, and the map station, not that far away. A lot of interesting areas here early. Early Torian, early Wrecked Ship. Oh, but Andy can't do that yet. That's Everest, and that's a map station in Everest. That's a left door. Fantoon could be home in the Wrecked Ship in this seed. Scott's about to get the same information here. I don't know about you all, but I do love some map rando. We got more missiles. Andy's gonna peek the door before it goes back to early supers. Okay. It's not a room you want to be in. It's a room with 3 key hunters, not to be confused with the 3 musketeers room. And he needs to be extremely careful. No suits. These hoppers do damage. Okay, that's screw attack. So while Aussie telling us that Everest is in fact in logic with speed, The racers still don't have enough. They don't have morph balls, so they can't get the map station. And even if so, the biggest thing to consider is the fact of if that is the wreck ship map station, and let's say you get to the upper right, which is the only door Phantoon could be in Everest, then I really don't know what you do. Because you get 5 missiles and 5 supers. Yeah, you can beat Phantoon. Andy never got the energy tank that Scott did. So it would be an extremely tough Phantoon fight for both players. Is it doable? Yes. Would it take a little longer? Probably. Actually, not probably, definitely. Scott gets yoinked. Seemed on purpose. Ossie's saying Phantoon wouldn't be reachable, but you follow Screw Attack now anyway. Yes, that makes sense. So Andy going to one of the only checks here that's possible. This is the front of Gauntlet check. And back to Torian. There's Morph! Okay! That makes more sense. However, the racers have no explosives yet. It's a holodot. Is this the first explosives? No, it's supers. What's the maze item at West Ocean? There we go. Explosives now. Wrecked the map station. Looks like a right entry point. So this looks like it wouldn't be the Phantoon map station, as we call it, or wreck ship map station. Aussie watching this game carefully, taking very detailed notes. Winner of this game goes on to defeat Aussie, play Aussie. Most likely falls to Aussie. Oh, Scott just misses those supers. Gonna go back for him again. But yes, winner to take on Aussie. The loser that's defeated in this race is out of the tournament. Hey Dre, nice Penguins of Madagascar reference. Andy finally getting that energy tank that Scott got so long ago. Just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave. The Penguins are outstanding and funny and fantastic. Shout out to that quote from the Penguins of Madagascar. Well done. In the meantime, Andy's finally going to use that morph ball. Let's see what this Edacoon's item is, and it's a reserve tank. Definitely not a bad find. Never gonna say no to energy early. Beautiful moonfall from Andy. Fat Scott is gonna go check out Crab Hole. Route divergences. Andy is back into checking out a lot of criteria. Scott is checking out Crab Hole. Will this pay off for Scott? It is, because that's the bottom of West Ocean. Okay. If I'm Scott, go back and check that other item, but immediately wants that map station as close as you can to get it. Golden Torizo for Andy. Cannot damage Golden Torizo here. Just peeking the item and sees a power bomb. Nothing Andy wants. Alright, map station is open. double major at Main Street with Meridia connectors, Screw Attack Holodot, and a double Norfair connector. That is correct. There's no bosses. That's huge map information for Scott, but as Aussie points out, Crab Hole usually means the section is gravity locked. So West Meridian now making sense here for a play. You've got Morph, which means you can see if it is in fact Phantoon or not. Because the deactivated map station in these settings does mean Phantoon would be hiding in the same sector, and it's not! But Mother Brain is here, Big Pink is here, Hoda Ruby Major, Big Pink Major, couple of Holodots, Watering Hole is here, Speed Booster Highway. Now the racers have to be careful. Andy, nice down grab. Moving through Everest. So slow is Everest. With no gravity soup. Andy's about to plop right onto Spring Ball. That Spring Ball is going to be great for Andy. Did Andy pivot save out of that? Okay, Andy on to Hoda Ruby. Oh, and Andy's not going to be able to do this. So, because of the lack of energy that Andy has right now, alright, due to that lack of energy, if you take any damage from the spikes or the little fire seahorses, whatever you want to call them, if you take any damage from them, you can't actually reach that major. If that major is anything other than Varia, you really can't get it. Because you don't particularly have the energy to get through the room, grab the major, and get back. It'd be very tight if you could. But with the full reserve tank, you should be able to. Scott is about to get his map station for the wreck ship. Andy, that save coming in very handy right now in Etakun Tower. That Scott's already peaked that Spring Ball. Just missing the Shine Spark. That water slows down your momentum so much. Which is unfortunate. You gotta make sure you're looking the right way. You hit that diagonal Shine Spark. Alright, here we go. Andy's gonna go for it. The Hoda Ruby Major is going to be Gravity Suit! Beautiful fun. Andy needs a farm room now. And we'll find it in the form of Big Pink. second reserve tank, meaning we could see some heated runs coming into play. The last major here in the wreck ship is Wave Beam. So Wave, Gravity, and Spring Ball. Remember, Andy reset out of Spring Ball. Now Andy's going to go ahead and farm up a bit. Go get some free missiles. Head to Watering Hole. Most likely grab those Hollow Dots. Beams and X-Ray are filler items. Thank you, Aussie the Great. Now, Andy's going to go peek Speed Booster Highways item, and it's more supers. Beautiful find. Not saying no to supers ever in a rando race, especially map rando, when on the Mother Brain 1 and 2, those fights, super missiles do double damage. Oh, that's a huge find. Now, energy tank for Andy, that's 4. Look at Scott. Scott has found Big Pink and is taking a quick farm. Neck and neck are these racers again. Andy is the number 13 seed. Scott, the number 9 seed. Aussie, he is watching this game intensely, has his notebook out, taking down notes of movement, taking down notes of how stupid these players are because they get to follow him in the next game. I'm kidding. Winner plays Aussie, loser is eliminated. I was kidding. So this puts that Turian back in logic. I mean, what Aussie said earlier, that Crab Hole means that the section was gravity locked. So now it should be a play to Turian, and you have 2 sectors. Meridia to the north, Northia to the south. And folks, I want to let you know, if you haven't had a chance yet to go watch the upper bracket semis, you need to do so. I didn't get a chance to see Zeb Nitro, but I know who the winner is. If you didn't get a chance to see Nevdi versus Oats and Goats, you need to watch that best of 3 in its entirety. The winners upper bracket winners finals are set. No spoilers, Twitch chat. The winners, not the winners, the upper bracket finals are set. We don't have many games left. We've gone through a lot of map rando. A heck of a lot of map rando. Speed Gaming 5, I believe, is where Zeb Nitro were last night. I can't believe Solsky is the big boss of the finals, and the winner of this tournament isn't actually the winner. They have to go on to defeat Solsky. No, I'm totally kidding. All right. Let's see what Andy's gonna find here. Okay. Interesting. It's also we haven't seen Criteria Map Station yet. How far away is this thing? Oh, that's why. It's way over there. Andy, very careful to get out of that particular section of that heated room. And again, Andy and Scott. Scott actually headed the right way. Yeah, the wrong room, the wrong room, the wrong room. Scott. That's the way you have to go, Scott. Scott doesn't have the right side info. This is what all these energy tanks and reserve tanks have proven to be. Remember how I said we'd have some heated runs? Yeah, all the energy tanks and reserve tanks are leading to this. And now it's Aqueduct. We don't know what's here. Andy just completely punts Gary out of the way. Well, one of the Garys in this room. One missile. And it's the Spazer Beam. Yawn. I'm just kidding, Spazer fans. So there's Ridley. Double Torian entrance. We've seen all of Crateria except for the sand pits. So Andy will pivot save back to the ship, and like I said, now it's a play for Torian, but Andy has the info that Ridley is hanging out in Crateria. It's the first boss found. Now remember, Andy doesn't have any of this information. Scott has the entire Torian map. Oh yeah, Andy reset everything. Reset Ice and Spazer. So rude. All right. Scott is moving, and is through. Scott to Aqueduct. Andy's gonna go assume that this is a Phantoon station, doesn't see anything there. Can't blame Andy, but Andy's gonna be pleasantly surprised that this is an activated map station. Alright, Andy now seeing the double major at Main Street, and sees the route divergence. Double Meridia, double Norfair. Gray, I'm gonna say this right now. If the next Super Metroid tournament wants to be a door randomizer tournament, I'm in. I will literally be the tournament organizer for that. I love door rando. Imagine door rando plus area rando plus dash randomizer items. That would be fun. I'm ready for it. It's time. All right. So it's Varia Suit at Main Street and Plasma Beam at Missile, whatever we want to call it. Main Street Supers. Door rando would be so much fun. No, Scott, no! Scott didn't have enough energy left. That's unfortunate. Andy through Fast Pillars room. Oh, Andy's found Bubble Mountain. So Andy is staying in Meridia. We'll see if Scott elects to go to Norfair. What are we gonna find in Meridia? Oh, hello. Major. Both gauntlets. Where are all the bosses? Meridia has, like, nothing. Yeah, J-Wag said the bosses are taking a coffee break. They're all actually hanging out by the G4 statue. Nice high jump boots. They're all sipping their coffee. Their pinkies out. Talking about how ridiculous Samus is. That Samus has to keep blowing up their planet. Can't just leave them alone. They just want to live in peace. But no, Samus gotta go keep blowing up them and the planet. Nah, I kid, but it's most likely Norfair and Brinstar holding the other three bosses. We know Ridley is out in Crateria. If you are interested in Map Rando, head over to maprando.com. Play some Map Rando if you're interested in volunteering for some Map Rando. Still some races left. Head over to that Discord link that was just posted in the Twitch chat. Sign up, crew sign-ups, ton of fun. You'll most likely find me on commentary, but make sure you ask questions. We'll be more than happy to help you, train you, walk you through things if you have questions. Scott gets his Varia suit. If you want to come, feel free to come. You want to track, come track. If you want to do both, we won't say no. So, J-Wags, fun fact, underwater grapple jumps is an expert level trick now in Map Rando. People talking about the Metroid Dread suit. It is pretty nice. Know what's even better? Andy going over to Norfair, hopefully finding the remaining three bosses. I kid, but no, the Dread suit's probably one of my favorite looking suits that Samus has in the series. Question in Twitch chat says, charge go mode, question mark. Yes. This is charger ammo go mode for both racers because they have Varia suit. Dun 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 dun. And he's gonna find missiles at Climb Supers. Yeah, J-Wag says, really? They got stuck in a race. Only way forward was to grapple jump. So, Yeah, I believe used to be a very hard trick. Now it's an expert. It is grapple jumping again. If you can do it, great. It's not a hard level trick. So, like, say for example, you're an aqueduct and you don't know how to grapple jump. Well, logically, you can snail clip. Well, not snail clip. You can ride the snail up to the top of the room if that's where you have to go. In Everest, if you don't have grapple, do it regularly. You know, if you don't have grapple, then you can't. You can have speed boost. You can get to the top like we saw the racers do. A lot of interesting things. Space jump, back of gauntlet. Andy into fish tank. Good mix of heated rooms and water rooms now for these racers. And to get space jump. Neither racer anywhere close to ammo go mode. If the racers do come across charge beam, and that'll be go mode. Both racers taking pretty much the same path here. It's not anything either racer is doing wrong, it's just this is the way the seed has taken the racers so far. Another safe station. Save early, save often in Map Rando, folks, and get to the map stations as quick as you can. Andy finds Brinstar hoppers. And a missile. Notice how Andy is ignoring all of these missile tanks. Or most of them. Andy thinking he's going to come across charge beam at some point. Let's see what Fire Fleas contains. Is this what a charge beam is going to be? It is not. It's another missile. Andy wants that charge beam again. That's 2 missile packs that Andy has found and has completely ignored. Andy, the Shack Tool, really trying to find that major station. Okay. Green Hill Zone. Fat Scott finally into Norfair. Several minutes now behind Andy. Scott looking to make up time. Now, Norfair somewhere most likely has a Brinstar connector. Nice supers. 20, 25. More missiles. Andy is now starting to collect ammo, realizing might never come across charge beam. $40-30 is the recommended amount of ammo without charge beam to beat the game. Says Eddie the Great. This seed is far from over. All this is a boss, and it's Kraid. The longer load time into a room indicates some sort of boss. And this is going to be Kraid. Nice quick Kraid kill from Andy. And alright, folks. Exclamation point R on the Twitch chat to go ahead and give these runners a follow. Exclamation point C if you want to follow the commentary and tracking teams. Torian Hopper room for Andy. Yuck! That's amphitheater. That's not where you want to be. Andy hoping he doesn't have to go through it. Reverse amphitheater, otherwise known as acid dive. Not where you want to be, but luckily doesn't need to go through it. Parlor holds the Fantoon map station, or the Wreck Ship map station, and Andy's found Fantoon. Dun 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 na na. Alright, that's 3 bosses. It should be 2 bosses down for Andy. Still looking for Dragon. Ridley back in Criteria. Let's see what's in Norfair. No Dragon. Where's Brinstar? There it is. Brinstar toilet. Andy finding Blue Tower, aka Climb Tower. Dun, 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 dun. Nice grapple beam. There are the rest of the majors. That's X-Ray, Charge, and bombs. So this will be go mode for Andy once he comes across that charge beam. Fat Scott just getting to that Norfair map station with 2 bosses down. Bow, bow, now. There you go. Andy's got charge. Andy is in go mode. With charge, plasma, and that X-ray visor, Andy has exactly what he wants to microwave Dragon. All right, Andy making his way on over. Scott has no idea of this yet, but is right in the right vicinity of going to get everything that Scott needs. This could come down to a very tight race. Andy does not want to play with the baby Metroid today. Question from chat. Do we know if we can speed Zeb Skip? No idea. I didn't get a good look enough of the room prior to Mother Brain to know that. There's Dragon. Andy making his way over to Dragon. Really interesting map because Mother Brain closer to Crateria, Ridley in Crateria. So this is pretty interesting in terms of having to route all the way to get these bosses and then route all the way back and have a quicker escape than some of the other sieges that we've seen recently where it's been go back to finish off Ridley, Mother Brain at the very end, and have a longer escape. Scott at this point only a couple minutes behind Andy. Scott playing this really, really well. Scott's about to get X-ray and charge beam. I'd say probably a 2 to 3 minute difference for Scott. And there's that microwave beam. The charged plasma X-ray. Yeah, oh, couldn't fully finish off Dragon on the first one. Okay, Andy does defeat Dragon. Nicely done. Scott's going the route of the baby. Has everything but bombs for the baby skip. I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Yo! Nicely done, Scott. Andy gonna go reverse to the baby. Little high five there between rooms. So now, Andy has to make his way over to Mother Brain. Mother Brain was either, I'm trying to think back, I want to say Mother Brain was Wreck Ship or Turian. It was one of the two locations. And to make the point about speed Zeb skip, I didn't look at the map long enough to see if there was a room before. So if you're just tuning in the map right now, I know we get a lot of new faces. Mother Brain, traditionally, if you think of the vanilla game, you can do a short charge Shine Spark and store a Shine Spark off a short charge in the room right before Mother Brain. Because of how map rando is and that room is randomized, there are some times where you don't have the option to use that short charge to get a Shine Spark, to store a Shine Spark. For example, I remember there was one race I was commentating. The Mother Brain room was to the left of Everest, and it was the Morph Ball tunnel. So there was no way to store a short charge Shine Spark to be able to go through and do that type of Zeb skip. Ice Beam obviously preferred. We've already seen it in chat that Ice Beam is on the way to Ridley. Andy, I believe, has seen Ice Beam. Scott has Ice Beam. This race could literally come down to a 1 to 2 minute difference. Scott just defeated Dragon. Andy now back in Turian. Again, 2 to 3 minute difference right now between Scott and Andy. Andy's starting to pick up the pace. Andy has to realize Andy needs to get back to Criteria. And Andy is doing that through the bottom of West Ocean. Heading back through Crab Hole. We saw this earlier. Scott back through Terminator. Andy back at the ship. Crucial save and refill here for Andy. This Criteria map, not one of the kindest maps that we've seen. It's a little jumbled, but there you go. Remember, Ice Beam is right there in the Key Hunter's room. Is Andy going for ice? I would. Make sure you give a big shout out to Stev, our tracker for Game 1. We'll be back tracking for Game 2. Stev doing a great job. Again, if you too want to get involved in comms tracking, all are welcome, as long as you get a base level knowledge of the game. If you want to track, come on down. And it wasn't the Key Hunter room, it was Kraid's closet. To do that, you're going to go !SGL24SMR on the Twitch chat. That'll get you access to the Super Metroid Map Randomizer channel in that Discord. Head to crew signups up top of the page. Speaking of signups, as Andy makes his way over to Ridley, want to make sure we go ahead and let you all know that Speed Gaming on site coming up at the beginning of October. And if you're going to be there in person, and if you want to volunteer, you're going to go over to sglive.speedgaming.org. You can still sign up to donate to your favorite titles, and you can sign up if you want to volunteer on site. Now that the plugs are done and out of the way with, Andy is shoving some charged plasma beams right into Ridley's face. Alright, Andy's got all bosses down. Again, now it's a play for Mother Brain. Does not matter what the room is before Mother Brain, because Andy has Ice Beam. Best bean combo in the game for both racers. Andy building on his lead, though. Ridley already down. Unless something happens here, Andy should walk away, or technically run away with this game. But this could easily go to a game 3. Can Scott somehow mount a comeback? Is Andy going to make an unfortunate mistake? We will find out. Question in chat, so this is a fairly equal skill level set? Correct. Scott has been really good and has been a revelation in this tournament. Scott, the number 9 seed, Andy, the number 13 seed. Scott has been doing really well in this tournament, been making more of a name for himself. And there you go. The Speed Gaming bot just pinged it. I mentioned it earlier. If you want to sign up for the on-site Speed Gaming Live, the bot just posted the link. Okay, it is the wreck ship. So yes, there was plenty of room to store a Shine Spark. But again, Andy doesn't need it. Andy has the better of the Zeb Skips. That's the Ice Zeb Skip. Nicely done. Zeb Skips, obviously, if you get through one, the others do not populate. So now, it's on to Mother Brain. It looks like Oats and Goats is going to be joining us on commentary for game number 2, so there will be about a 10-minute break in between the races. Get up, hydrate, go to the bathroom, but don't change the channel. This is a back-to-back-to-back. The entire best of 3 is competing today. All right, the escape is in, and it's a minute on the clock. Really, no surprise here. Minute escape timer. How close it is to Tori? How close it is to the landing site? No surprise. Also, folks, how is the volume this time? Has everyone been hearing me okay? Not too loud, not too soft? Perfect. Love to hear it. There's one thing I've learned about doing Counter-Strike commentary. It's trying to get a good mix between the game and voice comms. So I want to make sure you all have that good level of experience. Good viewing experience, rather. All right. Andy, with less than 30 seconds on the escape timer. Going to fly through pre-spacer room, right to the landing site. Get your GGs in chat, folks. Here we go. Andy takes game number 1. GGs. Andy takes game 1 with an official time of 53 minutes and 4 seconds. What a great time. Again, ended up being only a 2 to 3 minute difference. I'm going to let you all know that because the second race has started, I'm going to go ahead and end this. We're going to start game number 2. And Scott has finished with an official time of 56 minutes and 21 seconds. You're going to see that over here on your screens. But don't go anywhere, because game number 2 coming up next. All right, folks, we are back. It's game number 2. Andy out to a 1-0 lead here in this best of 3. If you do not know, this is a best of 3. It's back to back to back today. So let's see where we go in this race. Joining me on commentary is the one, the only Oats and Goats. What's up, Oats?
Hello. Not much. Glad to be here and watch these two great map random players.
Absolutely. Once again, joined by Stev on tracking. So this is going to be a ton of fun. Seed 1 seemed pretty straightforward, but as I was telling Stev after we were done with game 1, it seems like in a lot of these, one game is very easy and then one is a royal pain in the you-know-where. So we'll see if we get that here. But again, Scott, the number 9 seed, Andy, the number 13 seed. We'll see where they go from here. Aussie is hanging out in Twitch chat, scouting these two players, realizing that he is better than both of them, and neither one is going to have a chance of beating him in the next round. Aww. So Aussie's just hanging back, relaxing.
Yeah, so per usual, generally it's left side that they're going to check here. This is kind of a common area to see. Left side or right side. It's just West Ocean.
Yep.
Basically, just you scout the top right door first, see what it is. Unfortunately, they did morph ball, so morph ball is probably in the left door, which leads them to this bottom item, which then probably leads them back to top right. So we shall see.
Seeing a lot of super zigzags here. Left, right, back to site. It's been all over the place with some of these seats, but you are correct. Hey, look, morph ball.
Yep, so they're going to check this item as long as it's, if it wasn't explosive, they'd go to the left, but since it's not explosive, they have to just come right back down and leave how they entered, or else they will be soft locked in the area. And I think we've all made this mistake at least once, but you make it once, sometimes twice, but no more than twice, because it sucks to lose that much time. So there's a lot of little things like that where you have to just grab an item and then. So they're going to be checking this. Oh, he's not checking the bottom left item first, which is very weird to me.
We saw it in the last race. Just small little things just add up to that 2 to 3 minute difference, and it's bombs, so Scott will come away with it a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, you would check that item because logically you are going. You go to the left, you get morph, and then the next morph tunnel with an item is just right there. So maybe Andy was hoping to like wrap around and then just grab that item at the end, or he forgot about it.
It's possible.
He forgot about it. He's leaving without checking the item.
Probably a pivot back to the ship though.
I think he just forgot because there's really no logical reason that you would skip that item. And then Scott is just making progress. He checked that item initially, and now he's cruising. So he got grapple, and that's going to lead to some water rooms here, probably like Mount Everest or who knows. So that could open up some water stuff for him.
Absolutely, especially if we see Spring Ball. But immediately we find grapple as well for Scott, which is pretty interesting. And I only give Aussie a little bit of crap. Aussie is advanced in round number 5, takes on the winner of this game. Loser, they are eliminated from this game. And that does look like a left-sided map door there, Oats. A little tough that they have to go around. But
yep, it looks like they have to go through Alcatraz in order to get that, which some players play differently. I would probably just play aggressive towards the map in this instance, but sometimes it's nice to look for a save, which Scott might be trying to do. Or oh, there's Andy. You could see on his face. He might have had a couple of words to say. We couldn't hear it, but he realized that bombs was there. So I think he just overlooked it initially.
Big Pink's a nice room to find too.
Yes, so finding Big Pink is great, especially early on, because you know you're going to get some sort of progression item. He found power bombs, which opens up even more for him, and then he's going to be getting the map right here. Could be Fantoon map. It is.
Yeah.
So Big Pink has a lot of right doors, so Big Pink will often have it. West Ocean, stuff like that.
Yep. No surprise. But here we go. Scott is now going to go clear those right doors. Well, you can't even beat Fantoon right now. You have no missiles.
Yeah, nope, you cannot beat Fantoon, so you're just gonna look for missiles. Basically, that's probably Fantoon right there. It depends. So Fantoon or bosses can't be behind ammo doors, so you can kind of use that to your advantage too if you find an ammo door. So he'll probably check here, and well, maybe not. Maybe he just wants some more ammunition before
Wouldn't
he fights
blame
Fantoon.
him. Yeah. Single chamber.
Yep. So Andy is making up ground fairly quickly here. He's headed right to Big Pink, so he's not too far behind. He's going to pick up the save and then probably go
Yep.
right.
Oh, I had a feeling it was the upper right big pink door.
Yep. Could be bottom right too. You never
Could
know.
be
There's a
bottom
lot
right.
of doors here. Yeah.
It could be the Spore Spawn super missile door too. There's
I don't think I've
Fantoon.
ever had the Spore Spawn door, so part of me is like, I don't think it can even happen, but I'm assuming it can. It can probably be any door.
Andy didn't go get power bombs. I'm sure he'll go clean that up. 5 missile Fantoon, let's go!
Yeah, I'm confused on Andy's routing right now. He's like overlooking quite a few things. Because power bombs were just... Did he not grab charge item?
No, we didn't. That was power bombs. Never grabbed it.
Uh,
Andy's in shambles from bombs.
Yeah, so sometimes this happens. I've done this where I've been looking around for 20 minutes for an item that I've already seen.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I couldn't grab it in my head. I like made that leap in my head that it's just not possible to grab, and then that just destroyed my entire rando. So Andy might be in his head a little bit, because that doesn't make sense to just skip those items. That you wouldn't generally ever do that.
We saw this at another seed earlier this week. It ended up being the deciding factor in a race. And I don't think it was in the best of 3 series you win, but someone else was in there that saw an item, knew where it was, didn't go back to it to the end of the seed and proved to be pivotal.
Oh, and Aussie makes a great point. I didn't see the entrance. They took a one-way to get here. But, I mean, it's the thing is, once you grab those power bombs, it's no longer a one-way, right? Because they went through crumbles, I assume, which that can be really tricky, those crumbles, because sometimes you cannot escape. You have to leave back through the crumbles before loading a door.
Yep.
But, yeah, so Andy he's doing what I like to do sometimes, and you just go. You just move your feet, and you don't even think. So I definitely don't like the play that Andy's doing right now, because he's leaving items behind. He's not making like obvious checks. Well, Scott is making all of those checks, and he's making good progress now with one boss down. He's about to have information. He's going to go immediately and check the map. And then we're going to go from there. So he might have criteria cleared much earlier than Andy.
It's possible that Andy comes across power bombs, but we know the logical power bombs were in Big Pink the entire time. And
wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, Wrigley, 4 majors close. Wrigley
4
was
or 5,
there.
potentially
What
more, because
a
there's
map.
watering hole. Yeah. Yeah, that's these types of maps are actually very, very difficult to read. This is a very confusing early game, because you have to then make the decision on which route you want to take first. How is it optimal? Do you try to find saves? Do you go out of your way for saves if items aren't good? So this is when it can become very confusing, and this is when some players really shine, because their decision making is so good.
Yeah.
On which items to pick up first. Andy now soft locked himself. He came down here without a way to escape. I didn't see if there was a left or right door that he could get out of, but he entered a caution tape. I don't know if he... Ooh, okay, so he's not getting out that way.
Whoops.
Depending on what this door is, I didn't see the entire map. Okay, so he's good so far, but... Yeah, Andy's playing... Well, he still doesn't have explosives.
No.
So he's relying right now. He's going to just take the fight. He's relying on top left item being power bombs. If Scott opens the map again, we'll try to take a quick look and see if that's even a minor item there.
I don't know if I'd be making this kind of gamble.
It's not. It's not a minor item. So he's stuck. as far as I
Ouch.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Sorry, he needs supers. I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe he could get through the bottom, but that might be blocked as well. So he's gonna be not too happy once he sees that these are just missiles. Oh, there's a green door. Okay. Yeah, he's not a happy camper. I think he should just reset right now because, well, no, he does have high jump now, so
He looks visibly frustrated.
yes, he shouldn't reset. He should just take the okay, no, sorry, he has bombs, but he needs supers.
And but this is interesting because Scott now has to go back and I believe defeat Phantoon again. Look, no missiles, no power bombs, no nothing.
What
Scott
happened?
didn't save in quite some time. Scott found a heated room he couldn't get out of.
Oh my goodness! So this is why you save often. If it doesn't even matter now that Andy made all these mistakes. Of course, in Andy's mind, he is suffering.
Oh yeah.
You know, he thinks this is just loss. He's probably already thinking about game 3. That's what I'd be thinking about.
Andy's thinking about going to therapy to talk about how bombs just completely disheveled him 10 minutes into this entire game.
Yes, I think that kind of threw him off, just missing the bomb check. Luckily, he could get... I'm kind of misreading what items he would need here since they already have bombs, but with high jump, he can get out. This is just rough. Actually,
This is terrible.
No, he can't even get out of there.
No, because it's East Ocean.
Yeah, he just needs to go up Bubble Mountain here. Just every door he checks, he's realizing that there's another block, and he needs to just keep progressing. The Emmett path, says Eddie. That's a little rude. Good thing he's still asleep for the next 2 hours, Eddie, or else he'd be upset. Okay, so I'm curious to see how Andy picks this back up, and then Scott, he knows where everything is, and he knows what to grab now, so he will probably just head right for those items. Scott's playing well, obviously with the heat death. That's unfortunate, but it does happen. You kind of get stuck in an area. So yeah, we'll see how he picks it back up, and then hopefully Eddie can not beat himself up, clear his head, and just keep moving.
I don't know what Emmett did, Oates, to the fact that Emmett is being put on blast. Emmett's just trying to sleep peacefully and is being completely put on blast by chat.
That's just what we like to do to him. It's endearing, you know. We love him, so it's... And he's getting better. He beat Zeb yesterday, so it's a big win for him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a good one. And he needs to be a little bit careful here. The acid will kill you in about a second and a half.
Yes.
But luckily he doesn't make it out. He'll be coming up on a refill here. Well, I wasn't wrong. It is a refill. That he should have noticed that there was no connector to the refill.
He's reset.
Yep, but probably just a good reset. Just get back here, because that is kind of a long haul. So Andy's, how I would play right now if I was Andy is, I would go directly for the map and just pick up the pieces. I think that's probably what he's trying to do. Everything he enters is another roadblock for him, and at the bottom of that is just another dead end, I think, or it might be a heated room, which then just leads to nothing for him.
Yep. There's the crumble blocks. Scott's got an energy tank, which is going to help this time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he had before. I thought he had a couple, but maybe not. I wasn't paying attention. Sometimes it's a little tricky to catch both the feeds here.
Yeah. Well, Andy's going to continue to try this heated run and runs into another safe station. Andy is doing everything he can to not go back to the initial ship and lose all of this time.
Yeah, so I think just resetting, getting to a neutral position here to where he can, maybe like Big Pink or something, and then reassessing what he's done is probably the best play. Because right now in his head, there's too many things going on. He keeps coming across roadblocks. He now is out of the logic in his mind, so he doesn't really know how to pick up the pieces from there. So from him, he needs to like recognize that and just reset his mind and just one step at a time after that. So
Scott gets some more missiles.
yep. So Scott's just trying to pick up where he left off, and he's going to be going to grab power bombs here. He does need to kill Fantoon again, fortunately, but he still does have quite an advantage since he has all the information. He already knows what some items are that he's picked up before his death. So he still does have a nice little sizable advantage over Andy at the moment, because Andy is now just rubbing his head again. He's kind of afraid to commit at this point, which I would be as well, because once you get through this, you need to get back if it's nothing. Luckily, he found a refill. Hopefully, this is a good item for him. But we shall see. Scott's doing his second Fantoon fight.
Hooray!
Hey, super missiles. I don't even know if Scott had super missiles.
No, Scott did not.
So this might be good for Andy, depending on how he plays this. He's definitely sweating because of all the heated rooms. So we'll see how he plays it now. Okay, checking the bottom door. So that's just gonna connect for him. That's just a connector here. Might be Batcave or nope, that is not. Wow, so that goes way left. That's very interesting. That doesn't connect back to the top right of ship, and because that's what Andy was thinking as well.
Mm-hmm. Andy's looking for any way out that he can right now. Teleportation, Andy. That also works, but you can't do that in this game.
Yep, so he's just going to be saving, and he's going to try to just get back through double chamber here, which is fine. I don't think he's in any actual trouble. If he takes too much damage here, he can just reset the room or try to refill on the Kago or something. But I don't think he's in too big a trouble as long as he can get this wall jump here. Yeah. So what happened is he just didn't even grab charge item. And charge item had power bombs. So he's been running around, and he did that earlier with the ocean item. He did not grab the west ocean, bottom left west ocean item. And he then, once he realized that he missed it, he went back and was bombed. So he keeps kind of missing these items and then coming across roadblocks to where those items would have prevented. Yep. So this has happened to me. It's happened to Eddie. Once you miss something, you're not going to see it. Unless it just clicks in your head. Andy needs to find almost a different set of power bombs at this point.
Agreed.
Because in his mind, he's already checked all that. Major item. Oh, and Andy just coming across gravity.
Wow, what a find. We
So
saw
this,
all the majors.
Yeah. Andy doesn't need the map, he says. He's just finding the majors without it, so. He still is gonna need power bombs at some point, so we'll see if he can make the connection in his head, or who knows. But I want to say at this point, depending on how Scott plays this, that death really was very bad for Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, so Andy has an opportunity here to, if he can pick up the pieces, go find those power bombs to take the advantage and get out of Katsiria, hopefully first, for his sake.
Oh, agreed. Now Scott's going to Watering Hole. This could be this is at least one major, could be a double.
Yep, you can see Andy. He's still not checking because he doesn't need to check. Come on, Andy, look at the map. Okay, so Andy needs to go back. He realizes the map is down there. And he's about to find power bombs now. Actually,
I can't believe he got back to Big Pink.
The fact that map is down there is saving him, because he wouldn't go and check this if it wasn't for the map down there. But that kind of averts his eyes and allows him to see, oh, shoot, there's an item there still, and I haven't even grabbed it. So
won't be averting his mouth when he sees the power bombs.
Yeah, let's look at the webcam here. Yep, there it is. He's not happy.
Nope. Gotta give Andy a ridiculous amount of credit.
Scott.
I can't put... No, Scott.
He did save. He did save. But, sorry. I just heard another Scott death, and I was
No,
worried
you're
saved,
fine. Scott is in shambles at the moment. That is 2 deaths and at least 1 reset. And Andy's got 40 supers, the first super missile pack on the fight Fantoon. Scott's fought Fantoon twice. This is not good for Scott. Any lead Scott has had is evaporating quickly.
Yep, and Scott finding power bombs or super missiles. I don't know if he found those earlier. Like I said, it's hard to keep track of numerous things at once here. I don't know how the trackers do it, so thank you for everyone doing the tracking on these. But yeah, we'll see how Scott plays this now. So I think Andy actually has a little bit of an advantage. Alright, Andy will be finishing up the Fantoon fight.
Oh, Fantoon, would you stop being rude?
Yep, you kind of have to jump, and then that puts Fantoon lower to the ground, so you can get those shots. But and then a little bit of a punish there. But so yeah, we know as the viewers here that Andy is in a fine position relative to his opponent. Andy thinks that he is so far behind that there is no coming back. So
yep,
we all think this, and half the time, even your opponents are making mistakes. So it's important to just play, just play as fast as you can and as smart as you can, and assume that you're in a winning position always.
Not only that, you never give up, and I keep saying this on quite a few, commentary streams now. Never ever give up, because you don't know where your opponent's at. Don't panic. Just play your game, and you never know how it's going to end up.
Yeah. Because and these come down to sometimes just tiny details that add up. If you're stressed and you're thinking that you're behind, and then every time you pause, you take an extra 3 seconds to look at the map, and you do that 20 times, and all of a sudden you're losing by a minute and a half, but you wasted 2-3 minutes doing miscellaneous things because you were in your head thinking that you were losing. So it's just tiny details that add up. Yeah, or counterpoint, you just panic always. Yes, that's a great bit of advice from the chat.
Or as Jace just says, play smart. Hashtag analysis.
That's right, play smart. Okay, so Andy is probably going to want to try to get through here. He knows he probably wants to try to play aggressive. So whether or not he'll save coming through here, it doesn't look like he's going to save. He's just going to go for it. I'm not sure when his last save was. In any other position, I would probably save, but he does think he's behind now at this point. So he is just going to try to make a play here for items through heated. Scott is also making some plays for some of these items. And it looks... So Scott did beat Fantoon again. Okay.
Correct.
It's hard to keep track because he has died a couple times. So
Fantoon's defeated. He has the map info.
Yep. So it's not too bad. These players are somewhat close. We'll see what time that they leave Criteria with decent items. Assuming they're both going to grab the items that they can, we will see. Ooh, Andy with 3 HP making it out. We will see what time they leave Criteria, and that's kind of the important part.
Absolutely.
There's also something to consider for these players is I believe we did come across Ridley, or was that... Am I mistaken?
Ridley, I believe, is in Criteria.
Ridley
Ridley's
yes.
here.
So one thing to consider is if Ridley is here and there's only one exit, that they are looking potentially for items to take Ridley out now. Now that might be kind of a long shot. Both players running to the same item here right now. Really nothing that's going to help them with the Ridley fight.
So I want to point something out. Andy's caught up to Scott.
Yes, yes. That right now it's pretty much caught up. Scott is just going to take the reset. He doesn't even want Spazer. He fell in the lava. So they're almost wrapping up collecting these items here. And then it doesn't look like they're going to be able to take out Ridley. They're going to have to leave, come back, which is always kind of unfortunate. But yeah, that's what they're going to be left with here because these majors are good, but not good enough.
So Scott does not have Spazer. Andy has everything except for Charge. We saw how last seed was a hunt for Charge Beam. Plasma's going to make things a heck of a lot better. I still can't believe, and again, kudos to Andy for being able to make his way back to Big Pink and not taking that reset, because you and I was saying just take the reset, it's a massive loss, but he came back. And now with all these items, I'm arguing that Andy's actually ahead.
Yes, I would think that Andy is ahead at this point. Andy is heading to Criteria. Scott is going to be coming across high jump. He's going to kill BT for high jump. And Scott also doesn't have Plasma, so we'll see if he routes Plasma on the way out. But Andy is in the next area, and he has taken, he has taken a lead. He has better items. He has gravity, so he's just ready to go. In his mind, he's not ahead, not even close, but he is. Okay, so let's see. I'm not sure if he paused on map, so we'll see what these. Okay, map is. It's always kind of tricky once you enter Aqueduct and map is below because you don't know if sand pits are required.
Yep.
He's going to be doing a snail clip here.
Beautiful snail clip.
The cool way. Just 2 missiles, unfortunately, but if you can do snail clip quick, it doesn't really cost you any time at all, and it is kind of nice to get it out of the way. Okay, there goes Andy. There'll be 2 items here. A reserve. So depending on what Andy can find here, Eddie was saying because that'll be nice if he does find Charge with Plasma. As Eddie was saying, with Plasma, you are getting closer to killing Ridley. However, it's still kind of a tough fight. You either need a couple more E-tanks, or you do want to find Varia. You still need Charge. Because if you don't find any more super missiles, 3 E-tanks with a reserve really isn't enough. Unless you have more supers, so yeah, it's tough. Okay, Eddie heading directly down to the map, finding more heat, but that's going to be no problem. It's quick. And then Scott should be finishing up Criteria. Hopefully he can find Plasma and Gravity on the way out.
Oh, that's a lot of hollow dots. And 2 majors. That's the
2 majors.
Norfair wreck ship. That's the reserve tank in Norfair major.
Yep. So that could be 2 majors there. Probably not, but it could be. So there's a refill to Andy's rights, depending on. I didn't see if there's a bunch of hell runs he had to do, but the way Andy could play this right now is kind of take a kind of a risk to go grab E-tanks or super missiles in the sand pits because there are a lot of hollow dots. Or he might just want to play just for these majors, which there's a couple different play styles you can go with now. I think both are probably appropriate because everything's fairly close, but you do want to grab the majors that are close first and foremost, just in case you do find Charge. Then that just kind of negates the need for super missiles.
Spring Ball to start. Let's see what the other major is going to be if Andy goes for it. I don't see why not. Just a little bit out of the way here. You're going to grab a missile along the way. Andy's got 55 missiles already. Really wants to trade some of those in for some supers.
Yeah, so I thought he would have went just to the left.
I'm also going to point out, Scott never got Gravity. Scott never got the one item he needed back in Criteria to do this area.
Yeah, well, I did not notice that. That is definitely costly. Yeah. Scott might be thinking he's cutting his losses. He spent too much time in Criteria with that death, especially. Those 2 deaths. So he knows he has high jump and grapple. He just is taking the risk and hoping that item was like X-ray or spring ball in his mind.
Right, something out of the way, could just be a free item.
Yes.
All right, Oates, what would you do here, seeing all these hollow dots all over Torian?
I would refill. There was a refill to Andy's left, which I think he missed, and then I would go check the reserve. Because that's moat, you have grapple. Check the reserve. Depending on what that major is, I might then just make a direct play for all of the hollows and then Kraid. Since you have to go kill Kraid anyways, go kill Kraid after Sand Pits. Here's what I would do. Sand Pits, see what those majors are. Go kill Kraid, because Kraid is mandatory. So you have to go that way anyways. If those are supers, that's good. You have a higher potential to just go directly to Criteria to kill Ridley. If they're not supers, that's fine. You just progress and try to find more majors.
I like it.
So Andy just decided to go into Wrecked Ship without checking the reserve majors.
Yep.
Which is surprising to me. They weren't far out of the way. He has good items to do it. Yeah, it's tough because Andy has, 4 or 5 items, so he has a 20% chance that one of those items, probably even greater because, well, we might be out of the logical chain right now to where any item is accessible. Eddie might have something else to say about it, but let's just pretend it's a 20% chance. I would just take that risk and
Absolutely.
go check those majors, Okay, Andy realizing that there's just more heat here, he's going to have to go back through Pants Room. Or he's just going to go or refill, probably just refill. Not sure when his last save was, but he's gonna
It's been a while, I think, since Andy saved. So Andy's going to be really, really careful.
Yeah, if I were Andy, I would just, you need to go check that major.
Yep.
That's everything. If that's even if that is charged, you go kill Kraid before you go back to Ridley, because it's mandatory and there's hollow dots to go potentially go kill Ridley. So I think that's like the only logical choice that Andy could make in this position.
Yeah. And Scott doesn't have any outs. We know where Gravity is. It's not like Scott can just randomly waltz into Gravity here in Torian.
Yes, he could get lucky and go maybe a different route than Andy and get Varia, which could then push him a little bit quicker through these heated rooms.
Yep. Speed booster would also help.
So we're going to see what these items are now. Scott is deciding to do this, which I think is a smart play. So hopefully he can make it through here. It could be a little bit tricky.
It's Varia!
There it is. And this is what Andy either overlooked or decided to just not do, which I don't think he would decide not to do it. Wrecked Ship really is nothing. He kind of just wasted some time down here. We know that it can't be Varia. Could be Spin. A Speed Booster would be very nice for him to find. Basically, yes, Charge or Speed would be the items that he wants in this position. So this is interesting. Yeah, the fact that Andy got Gravity from checking everything, Scott didn't. Then Andy doesn't check everything in Torian, which
Scott can't take a death here though to the spiky platform. Scott, no, that might be it.
I'm not sure how far away he was. It seems fairly close. It is a time loss because he doesn't have Gravity. If he had Gravity, I would say it's really no big deal. But yeah, it's just very slow to traverse all of this.
Mm-hmm. So slow without that Gravity suit. Fat Scott fans in Twitch chat are in shambles right now. They are not happy.
Andy is a fan of bowling. It would seem he's trying to bowl a 200 game here and make his way down here. I don't know if there's another way around or if he just felt like taking a little breather,
I miss bowling.
Oh, Eddie says it's bowling into Acid Snake Tunnel. He didn't want to go through the tunnel. He had 400 HP. It doesn't take that much to get across, because after he killed the Metroids, he had a lot of HP, nearly full. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why he just didn't go through the Acid Tunnel, but there's a lot of things that I do in these randos, especially during races, that I would go back and say, why did I do that? That's stupid. So,
yep.
It happens.
So that's Space Jump. Andy is electing to not keep it. Was trying to figure out a good way out.
Yeah, it's
And
probably
said,
in
"Nah."
that position. It's not good to keep space jump. You already have high jump and decent movement. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. So he is still not grabbing the Varia item. I think he's checking the... I don't know. I'm assuming he saw where Kraid was, but we'll see how he plays this. Power bombs and hopefully an E-tank or super missiles for Andy here. Nope, 2 power bombs. So at this point, I'm thinking I don't have Varia. I have now 15 power bombs, and now enough to Crystal Flash. The only thing in Andy's mind, he might just need charge, a couple more E-tanks to survive Mother Brain. But yeah, who knows how he's going to play this now. He still needs to look for charge, so he should be finding that Varia on the way out, but we'll see. I don't think he saw that Kraid was to the right. I don't think he scrolled the map. So
No, I don't think so either.
This is a very bad position for Andy. He should now just run directly left. There's 2 major.
God, stop it. 100 damage for every time you hit those spikes.
Okay,
Stop
he
it.
is going now. He is going. He's gonna be finding Varia. Yeah, it's from a viewer's perspective, it is easy to like criticize how we play, but it is so much different like when you're stressing out in your mind about how you're playing, and you know we're all pretty competitive, and that is even more stressful when you're playing poorly, and so yeah, it's tough.
Any kind of race is a competition, and if
Yep.
you have any competitive bone, sometimes you can beat yourself up over the smallest mistakes.
He needs to scroll to the right. He still hasn't scrolled at all
Eddie?
to the right.
Yo, Andy, I don't know if you can listen, but Oates and I are going to start screaming at you if you don't look at your map to the right.
Hopefully he goes a couple tiles to the right. When he opens his map, it'll already be there for him. No scrolling required. And he can't be bothered to press right on the D-pad. But once again, these things happen. I've missed bosses before, but he still needs to scroll to the right. Andy, come on now. Yes, what is it, Zoolander? Yeah.
I feel like this is the SpongeBob episode where they had that ridiculous onion concoction, and it's Patrick's like, look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it.
Oh, yes.
What
yes,
everyone is saying to Andy right now about his map.
Luckily, Andy's not ugly. He's beautiful, so that's... Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Nah, let him skip it. Let Scott catch up. It
Eddie.
is more entertaining. Yes, I do agree, Eddie. But he is skipping. He did not see Kraid. So in his mind, Kraid doesn't exist yet. So he's going to be looking for bosses. And if he finds, let's just pretend he finds the rest of the bosses, kills them, comes back up, still doesn't see Kraid, he's going to be wondering where Kraid is
Andy's
for quite
all the
some
way
time.
in West Meridian now. Oh, hello, missiles. Hello, Super Metroid Bank. This is Andy calling. I'd like to trade in 40 missiles for 2 super missile packs, please.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. If only it worked that way.
Exactly.
I don't. It doesn't make sense to do that, Eddie, because unless I missed something, if it was speed locked, and I don't think it was, you would go kill Kraid first because you have to go down a sand pit, I believe. And the sand pits have hollow dots, and then there's a hollow dot behind Kraid. So the idea would be go and find the hollow dots, hope that they're supers, go kill Kraid since you're already there, get another hollow dot, and hope that's supers for Ridley.
I know fair.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other logical way to play that, Eddie. But who knows? Maybe I just
Mother
missed something
Brain.
on the map. Ooh, okay.
And an out of the way Dragon. That is so bad.
That is terrible.
That is
does
so bad.
So he needs Speed Booster. That is a 8-tile haul. So he has Speed Lock, depending on what this item is. He needs Speed Booster to go kill Dragon. I'm almost positive anyways. I think there's only a single 8-tile and there's numerous 7 tiles. So that's Screw Attack, not what he needs. Yeah, this is a little bit hard to play this because Andy, I think I saw him counting. So he knows that that is Frog Speedway and he needs Speed Booster. So yeah, I wonder, maybe he's hoping for more supers now. And then he's probably just going to backtrack and start, oof, not looking good. So Scott's also decided to go back to Criteria here. I guess he's looking for more items. I'm not sure if he was stuck in a position to where he needed to come back. But we shall see if he does eventually find Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, finally some supers for Andy. That's nice. So right now, trying to assess their positions, it's really hard to say who's ahead. So Andy has good information, knowing that Mother Brain is in Norfair. So right now, he knows where all the bosses are, unless he didn't see Kraid, who knows. And he can then just go back and focus on finding Charge, which I believe Charge has to be in Viridia now, unless I missed some major somewhere on the map.
There was a major in Norfair.
Okay. I think that was Screw Attack, unless there was.
Was it Screw Attack?
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah, okay. So the interesting thing here is, look where Scott is. Scott's back in Criteria. Scott's gonna go for Ridley.
So I'm not. Did Scott find Charge? Because it doesn't make any sense. You obviously
right,
need
like,
Charge.
That's right.
So I'm not sure. I don't think the tracker is completely up to date because he has
He's
he
got
also
ice.
has ice. Yes.
But yeah, he doesn't have. Yeah, no, he doesn't have Charge. All right.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I assume with the death, it's really hard to track you.
So even commentators have no idea what they're doing, just as much as the racers do.
It's I
Twitch
have
chat.
to commend the trackers, especially this.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, and there it is.
There it
Andy
is.
Finding Charge.
Charge at Indiana Jones. What a spot.
Okay, so with that find, I want to say that Andy is got a pretty sizable lead. I'm not sure what Scott's doing here. He might be trying to go for Gravity. There might be a major over here. He also has Spring Ball, so unless he lost it, I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, sometimes we forget we have items. Happens all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, so Spring Ball is very easy to get this.
Oh, this is the way to Bell Mountain. Got it. My bad. I thought he was headed to Ridley. So he's going to get Gravity Suit. But Andy, yes, to answer J-Wag's question in chat, Andy is in go mode. All Andy needed was Charge Beam.
Yep, so he's good to go now. He's he still thinks he's looking for Kraid though, so he's still going for the map. If he saw that Kraid was in what was it, Torian, he wouldn't be going for this map because he has every boss position located. Oh, that is true. Excuse me, sorry. Andy still needs speed. There is the component of being speed locked before Dragon. Thank you for correcting me, chat. So yeah, speed is still necessary to progress. Ooh, great find from Andy.
Hi, Shack Tool. Andy stretching out. Maybe have a bit more of that tea.
Okay, so Scott found some. Scott found Gravity, so that will help him progress. I'm sure he's beating himself up because that would have saved so much time. I think Scott's winning position here.
I don't know if Scott has one after all those deaths early. Other than Andy taking a death.
I think his winning position is play aggressive towards map stations and majors now at this point. I think that's the only potential comeback for Scott because of those deaths.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so
That could be speed. It could be a double major. That's Gauntlet.
That is 100% speed because he already located space and screw attack. So, yep, he will be just reloading the save closer to the pirate shaft there. Yep, luckily he found it, so he will be in go mode after speed now. Trying to read Andy's face, and it looks like he's like going back and forth, looking to see if Scott's already done, and because if you're replaying in your mind right now, you're thinking, wow, how much time did I lose? Enough time to where my opponent could just be finishing right now. So that's probably what Andy's thinking. But once again, we know that that's not the case, so you just need to keep playing. Yes, Andy's definitely thinking about game 3. We are our worst enemy in these. We do beat ourselves up when in fact, we're all making mistakes constantly.
Mm-hmm. Look, it's like I tell any of the teams I cast Counter-Strike for. It's why in the post-game interviews I focus on both positives and negatives. We quickly brush off the negatives, and if it's a tough game, I just casted for a team in Europe last week, and they were beating themselves up. I felt like more than they should have, because they felt like they were doing some really small mistakes. I'm like, but you still won. You're still undefeated. You're a brand new team starting this out completely. Like, trying to keep them to focus on some of the positives. Kind of the same thing these racers need to be telling themselves here. What are the good things you're doing throughout the games? What are the good routing decisions? What are the good items you found? Do you think you have some sort of an advantage? Did you get a map in another area that you think your opponent's not going to go to? Trying to keep up those positive vibes and positive thoughts throughout any kind of race is definitely something that everyone should be doing. And I know it's kind of tough to do in the heat of the moment, but yeah.
It's mainly, so you want to keep both negative and positive, but you want to think about the positive during your performance or your race. You want to think about the negative after and like an analysis. So it's really tough to brush that off in the race.
Exactly.
Because you can't do anything about it then. It's only going to make you play worse. So yeah, that's when the sports psychology comes into it, right? That's a whole different ball game, but yeah.
And I appreciate the update from Break and Chat about the IEM Cologne Grand Finals. I forgot all about it. I was so into this best of 3.
All right, so Scott is going to be seeing that rep ship doesn't have too much going on, just one major. He's hoping that major is charge. I don't think he saw that Dragon was speed locked at this point. I don't know if he's been in Meridia, so he's probably going to be heading for that, hoping for charge, kill.
What's the speed lock room? The Dakar climb?
It is the Frog Speedway, and that
Frog Speedway. Okay.
Yep. Luckily, when you see the map, I believe there's only one room with 8 tiles. So if you see a long hallway and you count 8 tiles, you need speed boost. Unless you can get around it a different way from the right, then you just need wave spacer. Andy didn't scroll again. Oh no. Well, he's going to kill Ridley right now. Eventually, he has to realize that there's nothing else, and he's gotten every area. There is a potential. What's he thinking? Oh, he's thinking about the route. This is a very weird route. He might be thinking Brinstar. I don't think he's gone to Bryn. So if Andy all of a sudden still doesn't scroll, he's going to go, okay, I need to find Brinstar, which I know is located here. He's going to check all of Bryn. He's going to get the Brinstar map and go, well, that's not good. And then he's gonna end up scrolling through all the other areas, and then he's gonna be really upset with himself. So let's hope that that's not the case, but we kind of hope it is because a game 3 would be fun, and we all like to see each other suffer a little bit in these. You know, misery enjoys company, so it's a little bit funny. Yeah.
Well said.
But we'll see. We'll see. We gotta have a good laugh at ourselves after, especially. So.
Absolutely. Scott's turn to go bowling. Scott's got the item over there.
Andy just with the great movement there. Definitely intentional.
Again, how much at this point, Oates, we talked about how many times do you feel like you are so far behind because of the early game that you just do what you can to go full balls to the wall, do crazy movement, do crazy strats to try finding your way through the seed?
Yeah, that's a lot of the time. I mean, in some cases, you know that you're going to be, like, we're kind of wrapping up, like, the top there. It's Nevdi versus Zeb now, so, you know, in Nevdi's position, you make mistakes, and there's a higher likelihood that you need to just play aggressive and take risk. You're probably weak. However, we do see Zeb sometimes make those mistakes. We see Nevdi make those mistakes. We see Eddie make those mistakes to where you think they're about to finish, and all of a sudden, nope, they did this weird thing, and it just didn't work out for them. So,
I don't know what this thing is about Eddie making mistakes. I think Twitch chat's going to immediately come to Eddie's defense, but...
Oh, Eddie makes plenty, so... Hopefully he makes a lot of those mistakes when, if we end up playing. We'll see if he can get through his other match.
I like it. All right, so Andy going to go back and pick up this energy tank here. Doesn't need it, but it's a nice to have. So both races with a total of 8 total tanks, 6 energy, 2 reserve. Andy knows where Dragon is, has speed booster, needs to be able to do this thing where, you know, look at the entire map at Torian and not go... We haven't even seen Brinstar yet, have we?
I don't think so. I don't see where it connected, but now it's going to be very interesting to see if he pauses and scrolls. So he might know where Brinstar is, and he just might be running there. If that's the case, this is still Scott's game. There, he did it. Okay, he sees Kraid.
Hooray!
Okay.
Oh, the little head tilt of like, really? Again?
He might have done that earlier, but with the way he routed this, I don't think he did.
No. I don't ever remember seeing Andy's map, ever go to the right in Torian.
Yeah. Well, now it did, and now he's waiting for Scott to hit .done in his mind, so... He just needs to keep playing well, focus on your movement at this point, and that's really important, because there's been so many times where you lose by 5 seconds and you get sloppy. You know, your movement just starts to go downhill because you're discouraged. So, yeah, just keep
you
playing
can
well.
see it in Andy's face. The discouragement is there.
Oh, yes.
You can
yes.
absolutely see it.
Yeah. But no, he's playing good, and as long as he continues down this path, because Scott still needs 3 bosses, and he still needs charge. So, it's pretty tough for Scott to bring this one back. I don't really see any opportunity, even if he plays essentially perfect, running directly to bosses at this point.
He needs Andy to take a death, and
have
that be enough. And have that be enough time. I haven't seen Andy save in quite some time, so that's what Scott is hoping for here. But again, Scott has no idea where Andy's at. This is the first time we've seen Scott anywhere near Norfair.
Yep. Which Scott will be seeing all the connections here, or no connections here. He will be seeing, hopefully, that is an 8 tile hall, and he cannot bypass it. Andy missing the Kraid quick kill. That's just strengthening Scott's lead in his mind. Oh, he ends up getting it there right now.
Good finish.
I think Scott, there is a major here. He might be checking the major. Yes, that is what he's doing.
Yep.
Hopefully he recognizes that he can't continue without speed.
Yep.
Not checking the major. Which is...
I think he's just going around the Rhododendron.
He might be going around, yes. oftentimes there's a save that's too far away to where it's not beneficial to reload. You kind of commit, so he just knows he's already committed to whatever this item is.
Beautiful Shine Spark from Andy as well. And it's the screw attack item.
Yep. Okay, Andy has just one more boss before Mother Brain.
And it's one of the most out-of-the-way Dragons you've ever seen.
Yes, it is terrible. Charge is, it's not required, but you need the ammo to kill Ridley if you don't have it. So at this point in the game, you would just play for the majors because you're already so deep and there's only so many majors left. Scott knows that it's a 50-50, so he hasn't seen speed or charge location, so he's going to, yeah, basically any major he needs to go for at this point. Oh, that's where Brintstar was. That would have been very comical if Andy went to Brintstar.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of seeing Kraid. It's kind of unfortunate that it didn't happen, but it's good. Good for Andy.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lotz, I appreciate you hopping on here for comms. I always love listening to the technical explanations and listening this from, you know, racers like yourself, Eddie, Aussie. Just listening to the explanations is just outstanding to hear.
Yeah, and it's always fun to see the players and get a better understanding ourselves. It's sometimes hard. We never really get to observe, which can also help us play. So it's kind of nice to observe and see where we all make these mistakes. This isn't like particularly special to Andy or Scott. We all make these mistakes, so it's nice to see like how costly they are, what we can do different in similar situation.
It's also nice to be able to, you know, once the seeds are over, to go through and look at the actual logic chain behind it, no matter like what you did. Like I've seen Spiffy Thomas do that a couple of times on his stream, and it's just when you go through and look at the logic chain, it's like, really? The seed wanted us to do what?
Yeah, and a lot of times you realize that past a certain step, it's really stupid. You're not gonna, if you follow the logic to a T, you're gonna waste quite a bit of time. So that's when like the creativity and the knowledge of the game really comes into play. Or can bite you, because sometimes if you would have just backtracked half a mile, it would have ended up benefiting you greatly. So it's there's so many different creative ways to play.
And just randos like this continue to keep the game so fresh.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, especially shout outs to everyone that put this together. This is crazy. So.
Scott's finally coming across his charge beam.
Yep. So Andy will be finishing up his last boss, Dragon, just microwaving. Scott now in his mind is probably just going to head right back up to Kateria, kill Ridley, and just work his way back down.
Beautiful microwave kill there by Andy. For those that have no idea what microwave is and why we're saying random things, the plasma beam does damage per frame in Super Metroid. And by using the X-ray visor, you're stopping the beam in flight. And on certain enemies like Batoon, Dragon, and Phantoon, they being 3 key examples, you can have that plasma beam do damage per frame by executing X-ray, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. It's hitting its weak point and doing damage per frame.
Yep.
Also, friendly PSA, do not microwave any seafood in a workplace.
Yes. Yeah, or in a private place. Either, you know, in your private home and your private residence, please do not microwave seafood, yeah.
All right, Andy is done with the bosses. Scott still got 3 to go. That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. Unfortunately, that death definitely did him in early game, and then
all of them, the resets, the deaths, everything.
Yeah, so despite Andy's missing of major key items, or well, the minor key items in this case, he is still at a sizable lead.
Yep.
Right now on Andy's face, I think he's probably surprised that Scott hasn't finished.
Oh yeah.
But he's hopefully having fun. I see some laughs every now and again from little mistakes. He needs to be a little bit careful here. He hasn't saved in a while, unless I didn't see it. If he takes a catch-up, well, I think he can take one catch-up, but it's a little bit scary. He doesn't have much HP to deal with. Save for Dragon. Okay, so not too costly, but definitely not ideal. So we'll hopefully he doesn't get onion ringed in the face. It's only 20 shots. Actually less. He should just fire all his supers. Yeah. Ooh, there's the ketchup, but he is good. Yep, that's an entire E-tank gone.
Look at Andy's face. He's like, wait, no.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than potentially losing your run on Mother Brain. Trust me, I know. So, but he's good. He's good. All right, so he's probably readying up to dot done here, and just hoping that Scott is not already on the escape himself. 240. That's always very stressful to see a long escape when your opponent hasn't finished, because you assume, you're only one escape away from potentially winning, but you could still lose by 2 minutes with a long escape. So.
Well, did I not say at the beginning of this that we have seen one straightforward scene and one pain in the butt scene? Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, the seed was interesting,
brutal.
And it did have the potential that Aussie pointed out as well. That it was a one-way into Big Pink, which is so easy to forget and miss.
Exactly.
It's messed so many runners up to where they don't see that one way. They leave the room and then they get soft locked in the area for 20 minutes.
Yes, so some questions. Where was the baby? So in Map Rando, part of the quality of life options is there is no Mother Brain 3 fight and no baby cutscene. That is because
it's just a pointless cutscene. So
yeah, there's no point in fighting it. So what the Map Rando devs have done is once Mother Brain hits you with the rainbow beam, you damage down to the point where you trigger the cutscene. Mother Brain's it, done, and then you just head right to the escape.
Some other quality
I
of
love
life
that
things too.
I love that quality of life piece.
Yes, and the double damage on Mother Brain with super missiles is also very, very nice and pretty essential, because it allows players to be creative with mix and matching their beam or like ammo counts to where they can maybe skip charge beam, because it does do double damage on Mother Brain, stuff like that. So it adds a lot more creativity.
For sure. And now Andy back in Atorian, making his way back to the ship. Scott does have 2 bosses down, but this is all Andy. Even if Andy were to die in the escape like 3-4 times, it's still not enough of a time loss for Scott to catch back up. Just proximity of where Ridley and Dragon are.
Yeah, it's just too much. Yep, in the vanilla game it takes 60 super missiles to take Mother Brain down, or in this 30. But then you need to take into account the amount of missiles and everything for the glass as well. So
I think it's a minimum of 18 missiles that you need to break the glass and defeat Mother Brain 1.
I know there's like 21 in there somewhere. You need 21 projectiles or something. But there's Andy finishing up with a 102.56. It looked like something like that. Yep. So
and that will do it, folks.
Yeah, good game to Andy.
Jeez. Very, very fun. So, very cool. And now we'll wait for the racers to get in here. We'll have a little post-game interview. Again, make sure you give the runners a follow. !R on the Twitch chat to give them a follow. !C if you want to follow the commentary and tracking teams. Like you all are not following Oates already.
You never know.
It's fair. All right, here comes Andy, and here comes Scott. GG's to you both.
GG.
Yep, good games. Man, so I the first match I didn't watch too much of, but I can speak a little bit on the second match. What was going on early game for you, Andy? Yeah.
We're gonna pretend that it wasn't a skill issue and it was a brain fog issue.
Okay.
I was like running around and I was like, dude, where is any not missile pack? This is insane.
Mhm.
And I was looking at my map and then I saw Big Pink and I was like, uh-oh.
What about the decision to skip West Ocean bottom left item?
That was also definitely not a skill issue and a brain fog
Okay.
issue.
Okay.
Yeah, that felt not great.
Yeah, so because of that, Scott actually had such an advantage early game. And then why don't you tell us about your early game, Scott? And then you took a very unfortunate death. So in your mind, do you think you were behind at that point, or?
Yeah, I was thinking pretty much as soon as I felt like I stumbled into the right thing pretty early, and I think that my Phantoon fight was fine, and everything in Big Pink was fine until I remember telling myself when I entered Gauntlet that I needed to keep 5 missiles to get out, and then I shot a missile at one of the the dragon or the viola or whatever on the way out, and I lost. Like I pretty much had to do it all over again, and at that point I was feeling pretty crappy. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you lost a significant amount of time having to reload there, and I think you took a couple heat deaths.
Yeah. It was after that it was just kind of trying to figure out where I needed to go after that, and it didn't go well for me.
Yeah,
I think I had
so-
like 35 missiles for Phantoon. If you want to know how different our games were.
It was very.
I
very
thought it was
different.
40 or something like that. Massive
But,
kudos for you getting all the way back to Big Pink. Oates and I are trying to figure out, by looking at the map, was there even a way for you to get back?
Yeah, and one other thing, did you not see Kraid until the very, very end?
Oh no, I totally didn't.
I
was
was
100%
screaming, essentially. We were screaming, scroll to the right, and I was kind of hoping at that point that Scott had an opportunity to come back after his deaths and everything, because I was hoping you were going to run right for Brinstar without checking. I was like, well, at this point, let's just make it entertaining. Just go right to Brinstar, never scroll to the right. But yeah, luckily you did at the very end. So
Yeah, I knew Ridley was in Criteria, and I was like, my intention was to find speed. Like, I only had like 2 majors to find left, I think. So once I got, whatever that area was, that map after charge, I saw speed there, and I was like, okay, we can go get that, and then go back to Ridley, and then go fight Dragon, or go to Brinstar and then go fight Dragon. And I paused just to make sure. With my prior mental mistakes early in the scene, I was like, let's just make sure. And I scrolled. I was like, oh my god, Kraid's right there. Thank God I looked at this map.
yeah, so we almost got some entertainment there. I'm also surprised with all that brain fog, we'll call it, that you had the mind to count the tiles to understand that you needed speed and you were speed locked, so that saved you some time as well. I think Scott did the same thing.
I actually didn't realize that.
Okay.
I played the seed out a little further just to see if I could finish. That's what the green stream is showing right now. I did not know Speed Hallway was there, so I was screwed either way. Because I found Charge Meridia and then dipped back out. I was Speed inside of Meridia, I'm assuming, or
Yeah, speed
Okay,
was
yeah.
like up worst room in the game to like post gauntlet crumbles.
okay. It probably wouldn't have taken long to get, but yeah.
That is a tough one, yeah. I think that's the only 8th tile in the game. So if you count 8 tiles, you know that's Frog Speedway. And unless you have Wave or Spazer from the right side with a loop, you
Right.
need Speed Booster. So,
Yeah. Okay,
Or if
that
like just Mother Brains on the left or something.
yeah. But yeah, so then game one, WX fan can speak more on that. But I saw a
Game
little bit at
one
the
was
end. It close.
straightforward.
Yeah, it seemed like a good match of what I caught at the end. So if you guys want to speak on that a little bit, or sometimes it's hard to remember both seeds, but
It was cool. I liked sparking up Mount Everest to top left door for gravity pretty early. I was like, is this in logic? Like, I legitimately didn't know if that was something that the game would expect you to do.
Yep, Aussie told us speed booster and Everest is in logic.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was in logic when I found that. I felt pretty good about the first one. I think it was
I think we cut out a little bit.
I wasn't sure if my Discord froze. Scott, you here?
I also
Scott, you
You
cut
cut
out
out
for
there,
a second.
oh,
I thought my Discord froze.
I think my internet just cut out for a second. Because I just got the OBS disconnected thing in the bottom left.
Yeah.
Bottom right.
Yeah, we heard. I felt pretty good about the first one. And then your entire microphone cut out.
Okay. Oh,
I
okay.
think Scott wanted to talk about game two.
No. What I said was that I found gravity pretty early. And I think what ended up hurting me is I spent a lot of time inside of Criteria looking for the map. And when I finally found the map, I found Spazer over there as well. And like, I kind of struggled to get out and I like saved back there. So I lost a lot of time doing that. And I think like that probably ended up making the difference, I feel like, because I took a silly death in Key Hunter Stairs. And that set me back like at least probably like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And it was pretty close. So otherwise, I felt like I routed that one pretty well. I found Varia pretty soon after Gravity. I found most of the other majors. I found Charge, and I pretty much was able to get through most of that seed pretty well.
Well, nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
it
the only
seemed like
thing
a
that
close
really like hung me up, I think, in the first seed was the Norfair map. It was
Yeah, that got me too. It was like, it looked like it was gonna be on that way, and then you go through that entire gauntlet of giant rooms, and then it's just not there.
Yeah,
It's always a terrible
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
it was like some long room into worst room in the game, and the map was still like down and to the left.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, you drop down worst room in the game because that's down and to the left, and that leads you to like Green Hills into like Mama Turtle, I think.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was also Fire Fleas is down there too. So it
Yeah.
looked like it fit, and you
Yeah.
go through it, and then it was actually the top of worst room that you had to go.
Yep. And then it was just right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But other than that, yeah, first seed was pretty nice.
Well, great. Yeah, good games, guys, and let you get out of here, and that was very entertaining. And yeah, so Andy, you progress. I'm not sure if the bracket is updated for your next player.
It's Aussie versus Andy.
It's Aussie versus Andy. Ooh, maybe
Yeah.
I'll have to commentate that one too. You're definitely gonna want to take your fish oil for that one, Andy. Yeah, get rid of that mental fatigue. Maybe go for a light jog
Yeah.
beforehand.
I just took a COVID test, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully your next match goes good. Unfortunately for Scott, that is the end of your tournament life, but that's okay. And there's still a lot of map randos to be had in the future. So
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
sure.
I feel pretty good about how I did in this tournament. So no, I'm totally fine with this. Honestly, I'm even surprised I even like beat Tim in last round or the round before Nebdi. So no, I feel pretty good about this. And definitely GG.
good games, guys. So
Yeah,
thank you.
GG's. Thanks for coming, guys. Shout outs to Speed Gaming for restreaming. And I'll catch y'all later.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. And big shout outs to Andy and Fat Scott for a fantastic best of 3. Shout out to Oates for coming in and commentating with me game 2. Oates, always a pleasure. And a big
Thanks
shout
for
out.
having me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and a shout out to Stev as well for doing a great job tracking. And that will do it for us. Next game tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. That is none other than SEMO versus MM2 NES cartridge.
And with that, I'm heading over to Speed Gaming 4 for the Metroid Prime Randomizer Weekly. There, it's Bra Inc. versus Avina. I'll see you over on Speed Gaming 4. For our racers, Andy and Fat Scott, for Stev, I'm WXFan21 saying we'll see you next mission.